are live. Thank you guys so much for taking the time to tune in. Welcome. I am Chris with Monsters Under Our Bed. We cover true crime, mystery to the missing. Today we're going to be talking about Sebastian Rogers. Apparently there was a recent possible sighting of him, a photo that was posted to, I believe, a Facebook group, I believe yesterday. I'm not sure exactly when, but we're going to break down the photo, if it's real. Apparently somebody went out there and also took a photo, because the first thing I was curious about was the background, because it looked like some of the trees had been missing leaves and looked kind of like it was maybe late fall, early spring. But someone went out there recently and it does match up with the kind of time frame. So I also ran an AI enhancement of the photo. And so anyway, we'll do some comparisons and stuff like that. But before we get started, we always like to give back by featuring the missing. Today we've got Shaina Feinman. She is 35 years old. A friend of hers who went to school with her sent me a request to feature her. That's something we do on this channel. If you have somebody like a family member or a friend that went missing, you can email me the details. I'd be happy to feature them in an upcoming live show. But again, this is Shaina. She was 35 years old, went missing March 9th. So we're looking at almost 2 months now. And she went missing between Peach Springs and Seligman, Arizona. She apparently was, looks like possibly camping, went out into the woods, and then sadly disappeared. She was wearing sweatpants, athletic type shorts, a hoodie, and green hiking boots. If you have any information, you can call 1-800-932-3232. And this is just kind of the area she went missing. This is kind of the northwestern part of Arizona. And so here's Peach Springs and Seligman. Hope I'm not butchering that. And apparently she went like camping somewhere in between these two areas. I'm not sure exactly where, but this is kind of the area that she went missing in. And then just one more thing before we get on to Sebastian. This is Gwen Brunel. She went missing last year in June 26th in Jordan Valley, Oregon. We are going to search for her starting tomorrow. It might be a 2 to 3 day search. And yeah, so we're going to be leaving. So that's why we're doing an early show today, because I'm almost packed up, but I have to go to bed early. So I got to wake up early in the morning tomorrow to go head out, because it's about a 6 to 7 hour drive out to where she went missing. But we're going to be out there with the drone. I've also got an experienced hiker and tracker coming with me. And anyway, thanks to you guys' your support and stuff like that, we're able to go out and search for the missing. So hopefully we'll bring back some good news. All right, moving on to Sebastian here. And just welcome everybody. Thanks to the members for your continued support, Patreons, my wonderful mods. Good to see you guys. Let me get this video going here. And there's actually another possible sighting too that I had found as well, because I was noticing that they were talking about 2 possible sightings now. So we'll talk about both of them, but we'll focus on the one that I think a lot of people are familiar with. So let me just quickly get this over. And we'll just quickly run, if anybody, I'm sure most people here are familiar with Sebastian Rogers' story, but if anybody's not, we'll just kind of run a quick recap. But this is Sebastian Rogers. He went missing out of near Hendersonville, Tennessee. This is his mother, Katie Proudfoot, and his stepfather, Chris Proudfoot. And then he also has his father, Seth Rogers. Seth Rogers has been out there looking for Sebastian Rogers. There's been many searches conducted. I think when he first originally went missing, they searched a landfill. This was due because apparently, I think the garbage men, correct me if I'm wrong in the chat, I believe the garbage men had thought that the garbage had felt heavier than normal. And so that is what led to the landfill search. Now, they did say that they had cleared that landfill. And then since then, there's been many more searches, many different entities that have came out and have searched for him. So, move forward here. Sebastian Rogers, as far as they know, if he did wander off and there wasn't some kind of foul play, he apparently didn't have his shoes because all of his shoes are accounted for. They believe he had a little ring flashlight, or keychain, not ring, keychain flashlight right there that is apparently missing. So they believe if he did wander off, he took that with him. But it would be odd for him to go out barefoot or with socks because he had an incident when he was younger where he had stepped on a fire anthill, and so they don't think that he would just wander off without shoes. So it is a really strange case. They've had many cadaver search dogs involved in this case. I do have the interview later on if we get time where was it Chris Proudfoot had spoke to narc divers, kind of explaining that there was all these different dogs that came, scent dogs that came over, and a few of them, not all of them, did supposedly get a hit, and they led to this supposed retention pond. But then also law enforcement came out and said that there has been they were false negative hits. So that's kind of up in the air as far as did they actually get hits or but according to Chris Proudfoot, he says at least I think like 2 or 3 dogs did track over to this retention pond over to the east of that neighborhood. Since then, it is now, oops, got a little head here. It's been what? So he went missing. So they last heard from him Sunday night, February 25th. They went out and did some things, and then supposedly Chris was at work, I think, like 3 hours away, and then Katie was home with, it was just her and Sebastian, and during that evening, supposedly, she heard a thud. She asked, hey, what's going on? Or quiet down or something like that. And according to, I think, Chris said, he replied, yes, ma'am. You know, I'll have to take that with a grain of salt, but they said that he responded, and then after that, she went to bed. Now, I think there's 2 or 3 different ways to get into the home, and 2 of those are locked doors, but the front door is one of those keypad locks. So technically, you could just go out the front door, but then it would be locked. So technically, if he did wander off, it would be through the front door and not through the other 2 exits. But anyway, here is the photo. This, and I'll explain where this picture was taken from because I see people asking. So I'm going to break that down. So I'm going to show the photo for a minute and show some side-by-sides, and then we'll talk about where this was taken, exactly where. And then we'll break this photo down, and I'll show you my AI enhancement as well. But just on first impressions, I think the nose is pretty spot on. Obviously, the glasses. I think the negative would be the hair color. There's photos of Sebastian where it almost looks like he's got I don't know, maybe they dyed his hair blonde at one point early on. But apparently it stated that he has brown hair. Now we do know that brown hair, like I have brown hair, if it gets wet, it'll look darker. But here, clearly, the hair is a different shade, but you know, let's say that if this was Sebastian, it's possible they could have dyed his hair. Another thing that I was trying to look for, unfortunately, it's really hard to find any photos of Sebastian looking down. It would be great to kind of compare those. So my mother, she was a hairstylist, and one thing I learned about is what's called calyx, and that's where, you know, certain people have hair that parts in a different way. So I was hoping to kind of notice if there was any kind of calyx with this kid's hair and Sebastian's, but I don't really see anything that really stands out. But the hair, I mean, the way it comes down is pretty similar. So I'm going to keep going here. Jennifer says definitely not same glasses. I mean, I'm not a person that wears glasses, so I wouldn't. I mean, it looks kind of close. It's still tough to tell because it's hard to tell the thickness because one's looking down. So anyway, so that's just to kind of give an idea of where this picture was taken. So this is where Sebastian lived, off Stafford Court there. And the place that this photo was taken is approximately, I think, like a 5.5 hour drive east. And it's just outside of Tennessee in North Carolina. You'll see it's pretty close to the border. I'm not sure how many miles, but we can kind of see the border here. And this photo's taken at, wait till it blows up here, this little nature museum, which is kind of cool, the Wilson Center for Nature Discovery. And I actually found a YouTube video where a guy kind of explores it. But yeah, so about a 5.5 hour drive east, just outside of Tennessee in North Carolina. So here's just a look at the Wilson Center here. It's actually a really beautiful spot. It's kind of out in a remote area. And the photo that where it was taken was near these pillars here. And so here is a YouTube video, and I just wanted to kind of play just a little bit. So it looks like they have some, I don't know if that's a beaver, but they have cougars. They have all sorts of stuff here. It's pretty cool. They even have tour buses that bring people out here. They got a bunch of stuff just inside the building that they do, and then of course they have a whole section outside. Well, it's kind of like a zoo in a way. Is it an otter? Yes, I always wonder when I first saw it. I'm like, is that like an otter? Yeah, it could be an otter. Anyway, so here is walking up to this Wilson Center, and the picture of where the photo was taken is directly to our left. This is just kind of an idea of what this place is at. So here was this kind of a slow motion, and I'll show where this picture is exactly taken. It's taken at the furthest pillar on the left there. Here's kind of a short little rundown of the outside area here, but they got cougars and some different wildlife, which is pretty cool. So here is a photo. And so somebody went out there, looks like April 29th, so 2 days ago, and they took a picture almost in the same exact spot of where this photo originated from. And as we can see, the trees and everything, you'll see I'll do it like a little overlay. This was definitely taken around the same time. And as you can see, I just kind of overlay. Now everything doesn't quite match up because one photo is taken at a certain height and the other photo is taken at I think a little bit lower height. So it's hard to match up everything, but for the most part, that's kind of where the photo was taken from. Just checking chat here real quick. So here's another overlay, and then I'll show you guys my AI enhancement. But we can see at the this little tree stump or something like that definitely lines up. So this is kind of where the picture was taken. Trees look the same. They're got this tree here that's full with the other ones that are more bare. And then here's just me kind of on the other side, just kind of doing an overlay. Now, obviously, they're on the other side of the pillar, but we can see that this thing lines up. So now we'll look at some side-by-sides. I know, Market Betty. Oh, that's such a great question. I was going to mention that. Like, yeah, whoever took this picture, that's what I would have done. I would have been like, hey, Sebastian. Right? And see if he responded or if he just kind of slowly glanced up and gave you a funny look. Yeah, it does make you wonder. Yeah, and it's not Seth's sister. Seth has come out and said that this lady next to him is not his sister. So here is AI enhancement. Here's the original. As far as before we get into the AI real quick. As far as photoshopped, I don't think this is photoshopped. The shadows, actually, I'll have to wait until I have the full picture here. But the shadows seem to line up just right. I don't see anywhere where it stands out that this has been photoshopped. You'd have to be pretty good to Photoshop something like this. Not saying it's not impossible. Well, there's the original, and here's a close-up and then me running the AI enhancement here. And the second I ran an AI enhancement, something stuck out to me big time, and that was his left eyebrow here. I do think the nose, I know some people in chat thought the nose was a little bit smaller, but when you run the AI enhancement, I think it lines up, and I'll have some side-by-sides that come up here in a minute. There is one thing on the side of his face. Now, it could just be a shadow. But I thought it was really weird if you notice there's this little black area and it's not up here. It could be a shadow, but if it was, it should drape over his shoulder and higher up. It's tough to tell. It almost makes you wonder if this wasn't Sebastian, if there's something maybe like a mole on the side of this kid's face. Again, with the quality, purely speculation. It could be nothing. It could just be kind of a shadow. When you enhance it, of course, colors are going to kind of smooth out and they may expand a little bit, so it's not exact. Yeah, the nose, yeah, and wait until you see the eyebrows. The eyebrows, like I was really trying to find one really unique identifier. And when I was going through all of Sebastian's photos, there was one thing that stuck out to me that did line up with this boy here. So let me go forward here. We'll come back and look at her, but anyway. So as we can see, it says he has brown hair, brown eyes. And as we see here, and pause it right here. Notice his left eyebrow kind of arches a little bit, whereas the other one's just more just kind of normal. But his left eyebrow definitely has that little arch in it, and I mean, just about any photo you find, it's got that arch on it. Now I'm sure obviously other kids could have the same exact thing. But I did find that it was something that was kind of unique to Sebastian. And so when we run some side-by-sides here. So here's this kind of a close-up, those eyebrows, just so you can see them. But yeah, notice how this one just kind of a smooth, but on the left one here, it definitely arches a little bit. Yeah, Cowlick. Yeah, it's funny, Sherry, and that's so funny. That was my mother's name too, Sherry. Beautiful name. Yeah, it's funny. Cowlick spelled either Cowlick like you have it, or Cowlick, which is does it have a U in it? Caulic, I think. Or it may not have a U in it. Anyway, but yeah, that's what I was looking for too, is Cowlicks, because that's also another unique identifier. But here is the eyebrows kind of side by side, and I really think, as you can see it here, this one's more just kind of smooth, regular, and on the his left does have that arch to it. Bring this over a little bit. Let me know what you guys think in chat. And notice when you run the AI enhancement, it really kind of brings out his nose a little bit better. And I do think, especially this one, and I'll overlay this nose, I think these noses are pretty darn identical, which is pretty wild. So I'm going to leave that up here for a second. Let me get to chat here. Cream Puff, in my opinion, left nostril is smaller and higher. It's so tough, Cream Puff, because obviously we're comparing one photo where he's looking straight, and then another photo where this boy is looking down. So I think to get an exact comparison is going to be a little bit hard, but it is interesting that he's got that little arch in his eyebrow. That would be really cool if it was him. But here again, another photo of him with that arched eyebrow. Kind of looking at some side-by-sides here. It's too bad we can't see his eye color. Of course, that would be another huge thing to see. But I think that nose, in my opinion, although it's tough because he's looking down, I think it's close. And the ears, sadly, it would be nice to, but here's me overlaying his nose. Now, obviously, this isn't going to be exact because one's looking down, one's looking straight, but I think it's close. Again, the hair is another story. Certainly possible he could have had his hair dyed. But then again, the big question would be, why if he was abducted, why would these people take him out to a public area like something like this? You know, you would think, if he was abducted, he would been kind of hidden until things quieted down. Just got here. Where's this boy located? This is a photo that was captured not too long ago. I'm not sure the exact date. If somebody knows in the chat, please put it in there. I want to say like late April, so not too long ago. She believed it looked like Sebastian. And like somebody said earlier, it's too bad she didn't just yell, "Hey, Sebastian," and see, like, if he reacted at all. She posted this, and we'll go over some information, because I've been trying to look at updates as far as what's going on. From what I understand, TBI has been notified, so please don't, anybody that's new to this, it has been called in. Apparently they're out there looking at that spot, and we even actually have some messages with some people that we'll discuss here in a minute. But I'm gonna let that play here. I think I run a couple of, I think I do the eyebrow thing as well here in just a second. Let me get to chat here. I think I missed something. Barb K, thank you so much for the $5 super sticker. You are so awesome. That will go towards the search for Gwen Brunel, who we were going out to search for literally tomorrow. Again, for those that are just coming in, we not only cover true crime, but we actually go out and search for missing people. And so donations, PayPal, Venmo, those kind of things do help for future searches. Northern Makeup, thank you so much for the $10 Euro super sticker. You are so awesome. Thank you so much. But I do wonder, like I said, I am curious about this little shadow here. Again, it could just be a shadow, but I would assume it would still be just as thick above his glass line. So it does make me wonder if there's something behind his head causing that little dark shadow. I mean, that's thick enough to where it's not like some just kind of off pixelation. It's either just a shadow from something or maybe some kind of mark on the left side of his face, or maybe a mole. And again, yeah, his hairstyle with Sebastian Rogers, it has changed. And look here, I mean, he's got some really dark eyebrows in this picture here. Let me know in the chat, do you think they dyed his hair blonde at one point? I'll show some photos of him before, but I mean, he really had some light, almost blonde hair, which makes me wonder either it was dyed or, the hair color does get darker over time. That's a shadow from the glass. That could be. Let's see. Let me go before I run the AI. Yeah, that could be the shadows from the glasses. Yeah, I could see that. Yeah. That coming down on his face like that. Yeah, I could see that. But again, that eyebrow, that certainly is something that's unique to both of them. And the nose, again, I think is pretty spot on. And the hair, I mean, neither one has like a really specific calic where like, there's like a calic where his hair starts parting to the left or hard to the right or something like that. So they both kind of have similar hairstyle, kind of like the. I mean, I'm assuming maybe this kid had a bowl cut, but now it's just kind of grown out a bit. I mean, I had that same exact hairstyle when I was his age. My best friend, um, but man, it is close. It is wild. Let me get the chat here. His haircut. Oh, his hair color is different, but it could be because of the sunlight. Yeah, certainly. I mean, lighting is a huge, huge thing in a lot of photos. I mean, and that's not just with hair. That's with just about anything like cars, especially if they're like teal green or something like that. Certain lighting, they'll look like they're blue, and then others they look green. So, and then that same goes with hair. Although I would say this is a lot darker than I would think if this was like brown hair and it was just caught in a bad lighting. It does seem darker than I would think for just kind of for that particular instance. But again, they could have dyed his hair. The glasses, to me, I think the glasses look pretty spot on, but I don't know if I don't know if, let me know in chat, do we know the exact glasses that he was last seen with? Was it like the black pair? Did he have the same pair, or did he have, other pairs? I've covered this case, but I haven't stayed on it day to day as much as I would like to, but there's just so many cases out there. Doodle says the deep blonde looks dyed. Yeah, it does. We'll look at that here in just a minute. Those identical glasses. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, obviously, I'm sure a black pair of glasses are probably one of the most common pair of glasses. But yeah, I mean, they just looking at them, they do look very similar. And here, for those who haven't seen it, he was on. Shout out to T Rev. He's got an amazing YouTube channel. Covers this story quite frequently. Where is? So this is from Seth Rogers. I'm not sure when this live. I'm assuming this live was yesterday because if I recall, this photo came out or at least posted yesterday. But here's Seth Rogers. I do believe that is Sebastian. I don't know anyone else in that picture. So, according to his own father, he believes it's possibly Sebastian. But yeah, so here's him. I don't know if that's dyed right there. Let's see. Where's the one that looks dyed? Oh. Yeah, like, what do you guys think? Do you think that's dyed? Or had been dyed for a bit, and then it's just kind of... But I don't really see the roots. If the hair had been dyed for a while, you would start to see kind of the brown roots. I don't know. In some ways, it does look a little bit darker, but that just could be just the lighting. Let me know what you think. Do you think that's... I mean, with the shorter hair, you would think you would maybe see the roots, but... I don't know. Then again, it matches his eyebrows, so this could just be, again, lighting and his hair just getting naturally darker as he ages. But again, that does, I mean, if you compare like this one here, wait, no, that's the one. Yeah, this one here. Over it. Sorry, let me Oops. Man, that's almost a 180 difference there. Again, a lot of that could be due with lighting, but it just goes to show you how lighting can change the aspect of colors. Miss Kelly, it did look lightened in my opinion. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised, you know. I know when I was growing up, it was a huge, you know, thing with the blonde hair. I mean, oh my gosh. Every other boy had dyed blonde hair when I was in high school and middle school. That was the thing. Courtney says, if I thought I saw him, I'd definitely follow while talking to law enforcement without the people him knowing. Yeah, yeah, I'd agree. Like I said, I mean, at least we have this photo, and at least they're looking into it. You know, it's a possible lead. You know, and it's good to be hopeful. And at the very least, let's say if it's not him, at least it's keeping his name out there in the public that we haven't forgotten about Sebastian Rogers, and hopefully, you know, the answers will come. Yeah, we'll look at those, Anna. We'll take a look at the shoes here in just a minute. I think I already got that one. April 27th. Is that when that was posted? That sounds probably about right. Yeah, the sneakers do look like the pair he did as well. Let's see the footwear. Okay, well, a lot of people are saying footwear. Okay, we'll jump over to the footwear. I'm just getting caught up on chat real quick. Evelyn Art. Chris, the lady that took this photo has shown the metadata. Yep, which I heard. And she had a filter on it at the time, which may explain the. Oh! She had a filter on it. Shows the dates. Okay. Yeah, I don't think this photo's photoshopped. Again, I'm not an expert at Photoshop stuff. I would say an amateur. And in my opinion, I don't think it's photoshopped. Everything looks lined up. It would be hard. Let me get the original here. So here's the original. As we can see, so just kind of looking at stuff, we've got the shadow here, which is a perfect line. So no photoshopping here. To be able to Photoshop him in, that would be really hard to do with a kid stepping on a rock one way and stepping on this that way. I mean, you would be an amazing, not to say it's not impossible, but to Photoshop this kid in, and you'd have to get it behind here. Notice you would see if he was Photoshopped in, notice her coat, yeah, that's her coat, overlaps his shoe a little bit. If he was Photoshopped in, you would see some kind of anomalies around this that wouldn't look right to blend him in. Now, the shadows are going away. Notice her shadow right here is kind of going up on the rocks, which means his shadow, for the most part, it's going to be non-existent because it's going this way. So, as far as Photoshopped, I'm 99.9% sure this is legit. Now, that doesn't mean that this is him, but I do believe this is real. And then the fact if she uploaded the photo with the metadata, then of course you can't argue that. Yeah, the shoes. So didn't he have a similar pair of shoes but not exact? I believe they were slightly different brand. of shoes. Again, remember, supposedly all of his shoes were accounted for. So, in a hypothesizing, if this was him, maybe they got him a new pair of shoes. Filter. Yeah, the one thing I noticed up here, there's a little bit of light. Again, this could just be poor quality. But perhaps his hair is lighter than it appears. Did notice that kind of looked slightly odd right up there. But again, I mean, the height of him, it's really tough to just gauge a height. You know what I wish the person would have done when they went out there? So a person went out there recently, noticed that there's appears to be markings on this pillar here. It's too bad he didn't measure this pillar, kind of get an approximate height, because you would probably measure from the rock up to somewhere around here. Fortunately, there doesn't look like to be any blemishes. Appears there might be one right there. But yeah, I mean, he looks like he's around 5'5", 5'6", which that is, I believe he's what, 5'5". So I think it's real. Is it him? We don't know. And again, if you're just tuning in, somebody was saying that this is somebody that was spotted with Seth in a prior picture, but Seth said no, this is not her. He does not know who this lady is. From what I understand from the person that took this picture, it seems he was with this group here, or with this lady. He didn't appear to be in distress. Again, with her being so close, it's like, why didn't she just say, hey, Sebastian? And yeah. Rachel says, even the mouth, the lips look right. Yeah, they do. For sure. Carolina girl, the resemblance is uncanny. It is. Please zoom in on the arm. On his arm, I can do that with the AI if you want. Let's see, do I do his arm with the AI? Here, let me do this real quick, guys. We'll run something. Bear with me for just 2 seconds. Okay, let me get the original. Go. Okay. I don't know if you wanted to see his arm. Now, of course, this smooths out stuff, so this isn't, exact. It kind of blends in the pixels, smooths them out. Yeah, I was hoping maybe if there was like a bracelet or something on him. I don't see anything. Weird, almost looks like he's missing fingers, but I'm sure that's just the angle. Get his hand down here. Don't see anything, don't see any scratches. The clothing he's wearing looks new. I mean, that should be a big shocker. The lady, what do you guys think? You think, I don't have Apple Watch devices. I don't know. You think that's an Apple Watch device? Looks like she is married. Yeah. like this lady here is married. Maybe this is the, oops, sorry. Perhaps this is the husband in the background. Can't really make out what's on her shirt. Yes, it's an Apple Watch. Okay. Yeah, I'm an Android person, so. Again, I'll leave that up here for just a second. Let me grab what was kind of posted not too long ago. Bear with me just a second here. So this is Steve Fisher. For those who are not familiar, he is a PI. So he reached out to Heather. I'm not sure who Heather is. Somebody wants to let me know in chat. Although I'm not involved in the investigation, I keep a close eye on developments. I have a few questions I hope you can answer for transparency. Number one, law enforcement's response time. Can you shed some light on why there's a delay in law enforcement confirming whether the photo circulated is of Sebastian? Which is a great question because we've seen this a few times before in other cases where there's a sighting or something like this, and usually law enforcement, TBI, or whatever, whoever's involved, the agency, they'll usually come out on their, Facebook or whatever, Twitter, and say, hey, because I'm sure they're getting tips called in, the repeat tips, the same thing called in over and over. And so they're usually quick to figure out, is it real or not? And then the second they figure out this is not him or a debunk, they'll usually post it. So the fact that we haven't heard anything from them is interesting. So let me take a sip here. So, okay, so she's a PI. Okay, so that makes sense. So one PI contacting another. Okay, that makes sense. Thank you guys. Like I said, I cover so many cases, so it's hard to keep up day to day on, cases. So the first question, from what I understand, they are still vetting the photo. Number two, identity of the woman in the photo without revealing her identity, which, yeah, obviously we don't, because most likely or good chance this is probably just some random other boy that just unfortunately looks like Sebastian, and not unfortunately, but you know what I mean. But yeah, we don't want to destroy lives and think that this lady has kidnapped him and flip her world upside down when, it's just a simple misunderstanding. But anyway, he goes on to say, is this woman known to you, other investigators, or Seth? She responds, I have not heard whether they have identified the woman. I only know that the woman is not the same woman seen in the photo with Seth at Rockland. That's the supposed, Seth's sister or something like that. One can assume that we do not know the identity of the woman as of yet, because if they had, they would probably know by now whether the picture is of Sebastian or just another teenage boy that resembles him. So that's a pretty good response. Number three, has Seth's mom indicated what she believes about this photo and the people in it? Has Seth's mom indicated? I wonder if he means Seth's mom or Sebastian's mom. I think he meant Sebastian's mom. I believe that Katie has made some public comments that the photo does closely resemble Sebastian. However, I cannot answer for her, so I would redirect that question to Katie. Seth's location. Is Seth still in Tennessee, or has he moved elsewhere to continue his search? Oh, wait. I skipped one. I'm sorry. Number 4. Seth's recent silence. Seth has previously not followed law enforcement advice on communication. What's different this time that he has remained quiet for the last 48 hours? That is interesting. We know in other cases when things go quiet, doesn't mean all the time, but sometimes there's developments. Whether, yeah, I'll leave it at that. She says, I'm sorry, this isn't something I can speak about. And then he asks about the location of Seth, which he says, yeah, same thing. And then the last one is case resolution timeline. Based on your insights, do you anticipate that the case might reach a conclusion within the next 48 hours? Ooh, that's a pretty strong statement. I appreciate your cooperation and openness. I certainly hope so. But even if we learn that is Sebastian in the photo, I'm not sure that it would happen that quickly. It would be promising and enough reason for the FBI to take over the case. But if they determine if that isn't him in the photo, then we are back to square one. And I know it's going to be incredibly discouraging to a lot of people. So again, as far as the last time I refreshed Twitter and looked at some of the Facebook groups, I hadn't seen anything where it's been debunked or confirmed. So there's still a possibility for sure. Jasmine says could be a doppelganger. It certainly looks like him for sure. Yeah, let me just play that while I get to chat real quick here because I missed some things here. Moto Go Yo, good to see you. Where are the shadows cast on the cars to the ground versus the person in the pic? Under nose puts the sun to the left of frame. Same on cars or different? Good question. We'll see if we can look at that. And thank you so much for the $5. Rainy Days, thank you so much for the PayPal. Thanks, Chris. Sebastian Strong, you're very sweet. Thank you so much, Rainy Days. Member for 23 months. One more and you get your big 2-4. That's awesome. And KK, becoming a member and supporting the mob crew. Thank you so much, KK. It's a great time to become a member or a Patreon. We are going out to search for Gwen Brunel. Literally, I am going to bed early tonight, and we are going out searching for her tomorrow. We'll probably be doing some regular lives and some member lives when we get out there, if there is reception out there, cell reception. And then, of course, when we come back, we'll have tons of footage for the members and Patreons. So, always have tons of content for the members. Okay. Will Warren says the ears are... Yeah, it's hard to see the ears in that one. We can kind of see the ear a little bit here, but it's just too hidden to really judge one way. But if you missed it earlier, one thing that really stuck out to me is his left eyebrow. It kind of has a, kind of arches up where, his right one just stays steady. And on this boy here, it's the same thing where his right eyebrow is just kind of normal, whereas his left one does have that arch. And every photo I've seen of Sebastian, it's the same thing where his right eyebrow is just kind of, natural, and then it's kind of got this arc on his left one. So I thought that was kind of interesting that they both had that. And then the nose, in my opinion, the nose, I know some people thought the nose on the boy on the left was smaller, but I think they're pretty close, in my opinion. I think a lot of people agree. Oh, whoa. Somebody gifted a bunch. Oh my gosh, Copper Horse. Of course. Copper Horse, thank you so much. You are so amazing. Copper Horse is such an amazing lady, and that doesn't discourage everybody else that helps out this channel, but She's been helping modding, not for my channel, but so many channels. Modders don't get paid, and it's just so amazing. And she's, I just couldn't say enough good things about Copper Whores. And gifting 50 mob crew memberships, that is so awesome. So if you did get gifted a mob crew membership, if you could thank her, that is so awesome. Thank you so much, Copper Horse. Oh, thank you so much, Pat. Kristen says, I don't believe it's him. I mean, the odds, yeah, I mean, that's kind of stacked. I mean, looking at a logical standpoint, if you had abducted him, or let's say there was some kind of secret meeting where the Proudfoots gave him away, you know, why would they be taking him to this, this public area where, tour buses show up to, see this museum and wildlife? The logic in it, yeah, is kind of wouldn't make sense. Unless you dyed his hair and I don't know, did a few changes to his appearance. But even just dyeing his hair, I mean, I don't know if that's going to be enough to. So yeah, on that side of the argument, it would seem kind of silly to, if he was taken in by somebody else, why would they be kind of out there in such a public area? And it's so close. For anybody, again, that came in later, I'll just kind of recap a few things. But if anyone's wondering where this was taken and how far away, so Hendersonville is just kind of northeast of Nashville, which is kind of where Riley Strain went missing, or it was found. And anyway, from his home to where this is at, as we back up, you can see, because Tennessee's kind of this, kind of rectangle shape state, and it just outside Tennessee, inside of North Carolina, it's about a 5.5 hour drive away, is this place out here at the Wilson Center? I keep forgetting the name of it. Zoom in on it here. Yeah, Wilson Center for Nature Discovery. So, I mean, it's interesting that it is not far, considering it's only a 5.5 hour drive. This is out kind of in a remote area, but then again, it is a place that is kind of, I don't know how popular it is, but I've seen when that guy, I think when the one guy showed up, there was tour buses and stuff like that, so. And here's just kind of the different wildlife that they got here. I think they have a cougar out there. And here's a picture again from somebody going out there, just to kind of recap. So let's look at the shadows. So we can see the shadows again. The shadows are kind of facing away, a little bit to the left. We really can't make out the car shadows because this picture's kind of taken a little bit lower. And in his photo, let me just see. Again, I don't think this is Photoshop. I think this is real. And we can see the shadows of the cars, but yeah, they appear normal. I mean, they appear normal. I don't know. Let me know what your final thoughts are in this. Oh, and there is another sighting going on as well. I don't think this one's him. So this was. I didn't even get a chance to see where this was actually taken. I don't know if this was like in a neighborhood nearby. I mean, this kind of looks like around the neighborhood of his area, but this was taken on Saturday, the 16th. So, oh, let me turn off the noise here. Alert box. Stop it. Sorry. It's catching up, so I'll turn that off for a minute. So what? He went missing on the 26th. So what? That would have been about 3 weeks approximately. But one first thing that stands out: no glasses. I don't know. This boy looks to me just. I mean, it's tough to say, but this boy looks a little bit slightly older, a couple of years older. I mean, it's tough. I mean, we're just looking at kind of a looks to me. It doesn't look like Sebastian. I mean, from afar, I would say it's not a bad thing to say, hey, here's a possibility that here he is wandering down the street, but that would be 3 weeks after. I mean, where would he be getting his food from? And stuff like that. So I doubt this would be him. But I mean, it doesn't hurt to go back and check your ring cams, because you never know. So many cases go back to ring cams. So it's very important. And it's amazing that it seems like more and more people are taking that initiative. So, who knows? Hey, Barbara Hall, good to see you. Let me see. Let me get to the last little bit here. Naomi, good to see you. Member for 2 months. Thanks again for the membership. Couldn't have come at a better time. Copper Horse, you rock. Susan, member for 20 months. Shadow are right at the museum pick. Yeah, I agree, Susan. Yeah, I think it's a legit pick. And the lady supposedly posted the metadata. Go back to the other photo, white camper. Are we talking about? Oh, are we talking about this camper here? Oh, now are we kind of thinking camper and Chris Proudfoot camper? I don't think so. I doubt it. I think that would be pretty dumb. I mean, anything's possible, but I'd assume there's probably people bringing up their campers because it's kind of in a remote area. This we just look real quick here on you just kind of look at this. Well, why is it fighting me? Don't fight me. So we kind of look at that area just surrounding it. I mean, this is just kind of like a zigzaggy road up to. Definitely remote, for sure. The place from. Let's see, do they have. I know they have. Huh. I had some pictures of that. Anyway. I'm sure campers wouldn't be out of the realm just because of the area. Maybe people stop in one place, moving on to the next. Gosh, look at how dense that is up there in North Carolina. I never realized. Wow. Anyway, let me get to the poll here. So we got, oh wow, we literally have 1,000 votes. Oh, now we got 1,002. So we got 47% think foul play, 35% not sure, 10% was abducted, 9% wandered off. So most of you think some kind of foul play. Again, right now there is no direct evidence of foul play. Doesn't mean that didn't happen. Um, and then honestly, I hope there wasn't foul play, just because if it's foul play, that means his life was taken. Um, it would be nice to know, in a hypothetical, that maybe he's with another family and he's doing much better, but who knows? Yeah, it's hard to tell. I mean, you only get a bit of the camper, but I doubt that would be his camper. Um, oh yeah, my name's Chris, and then and then hearing Chris, yeah, I'm sure that's probably confusing some people. Oh, what'd you say, Karen? Karen says it's a huge, popular area, Chris. Huge tourist destination. So that's what I was kind of gathering, because you could see the tour buses. Um, was it in the video that I got? This one. Sorry, I'm just backing this up. Can't remember if it is this video here. Sorry if I'm making you dizzy. Yeah, I had seen where there was like a bunch of tour buses. I'm like, ooh. Yeah, so again, that would kind of seem silly to be taking somebody that was either possibly abducted or given away and taking them to this public area. Yeah, so far, Jesse Jean. Let's check Twitter real quick. Do a couple more things before we finish up. Let's just see if there's any update, because I'm assuming that law enforcement will want to get ahead of this if this is a false reporting, and get that out there to the media. Because I'm sure they probably had the same tip come in over and over and over. And okay, somebody's messaged me. I'll check that out here. Just looking. I haven't seen anything else. Yeah, so no post yet. We'll keep an eye on it. Let me go over just a couple more things before we go. Talia says no resemblance at all. Really? I think there's definitely I definitely think there's some resemblances there. We'll go over them one last time here, and then we'll finish up, talk about what's coming up. Um, oops. But again, I ran some AI. I think the nose. So here's some side by sides. I think the nose is pretty spot on. I mean, glasses are, that's not much to go off, because that they're pretty generic. I think the eyebrow is fairly spot on. His hair doesn't. Neither boy has like a specific calic in their hair that, like, it starts coming off one side or the other. So they both have that going. I'd say the eyebrow thickness is pretty close, but again, that's still kind of more of a generic, except for the eyebrow arch. I think that's pretty unique. The lip, the mouth, it's tough to say because he's still looking down. So it's really tough to say. The height of him is tough to say, but I would say he looks somewhere between like a 5'4" to 5'6" area, which Sebastian is 5'5", so he's all right in that area. His forearms, let's see, what about the meat on his arms? Yeah, one last thing. Let's see. Sorry. I mean, one more thing. One more thing I just thought about. Let's recent good photo of him. I want to look at the thickness of his arms. Here we go. That's a good one. I wish he. I know there's one where he has a bent arm, but that photo's a little bit. The. It looks the weight pretty close. And the arms, I mean, there's a lot of similarities. A lot of similarities, in my opinion. Jerry says that boy really tall to me. I think it's just tough to say because he's standing up on that rock and he's stepping down. So it's hard to gauge. But I do agree. It does appear this boy may be slightly taller. But again, there's so many variables. Kelly says boy's not him. Either way, they're going to look into it. I think that's great. Keeps his name out there, either way at the end of the day. Yeah, there is one where his arm's bent. Let's look at it. Might as well while we're here. Let me finish up here. This one. Except his arms covered there. I know I tried to snag the most. Yeah. I don't know. I'll have to look into it further. Like I said, I'm sure it's interesting. It's been quiet, because it's been, 2 days, more or less? Susan says his chest bone pushes out. Yeah. Why is he by himself? He's not. Oh, this picture's just cut off. Here's the original. I'll just put up the original one more time here. No, he's with a lady. Why am I not seeing the original? Oh, there it is. Yeah, so here's the original. Oh. So he's not alone. It appears, from what I think the person that took the picture said, that he appeared to be with this group or this lady here. So, yeah, at the very least, it keeps his name out there. They're gonna look into it. I'm sure as soon as they know, they will announce it because I'm sure they'll probably keep getting tipped in on this. So, Jen says, I think it's him. It's possible. Yeah, now Seth from yesterday said he believed. Here's his statement. Why did it do that? Here's Steph right there. I do believe that is Sebastian. Now that doesn't mean he knows that's Sebastian. He believes it could be Sebastian, I think. And he said, I don't know anybody else in that picture. So, and I believe that was from yesterday. So, long fate. Yeah, I think with that, Little Red, I think that's hard to say because he's looking down, so we can't see his full, because he's down. So I think that's kind of hard to gauge on that, Little Red. That's just my opinion on that. Yeah, that's what I heard. So that'll be another good thing, as apparently they got surveillance footage. So I'm sure they'll figure this out one way or another. But still, interesting the topic to talk about. And it is. To me, I think it's crazy. It's very close, and I think there's a lot of people in chat that think that there's a lot of aspects that look that resembles Sebastian. So just before we go, I just want to thank everybody taking the time. We had over 1,300 people in here. If you can, please hit that like button. That gets his name out here. It also gets the people that I feature at the beginning of the show. Because there's so many missing people, and unfortunately, not everybody case is going to go big. It's just the way it works. But it gives people like Shaina a chance. Who's out there missing. She's been missing for a month and a half, well, almost 2 months now. and then one more thing, we are going to be going out. So I'm going to bed early. Why did that pop up twice? So we're going to be looking for Gwen. I'm going to bed early tomorrow. We're going to be looking for her in Jordan Valley, Oregon. We're going out there with the new drone that we got, thanks to you guys. Again, another way to support these searches is by Venmo and PayPal. You don't have to, but if you'd like to, it does help us. And this is a case I'm very optimistic about finding this young lady. And this is what they found of her. They found her boots laying out just like this. I would go over the backstory, but I don't want to take away from Sebastian Rogers. But yeah, they found her boots and a shirt, nothing else. And so we are going to go to that spot. I believe it's possible she may have succumbed to hypothermia. And so she started derobing. That's something that happens when you get into the final stages of hypothermia. You start to derobe because your body tricks you into thinking you're really hot. And once you get into that stage of hypothermia, there's like 4 stages of hypothermia. Once you get into that final stage, you only have like 15-30 minutes to live. So if this is ground zero from where she hit the 4th stage of hypothermia, that means she can't be far. So we're going to take a drone, an experienced hiker / tracker out there, and we're going to be out there for at least 2 days, maybe 3 or 4, and we're hoping we can bring her home to her family. So with that, I want to say thank you to my mods. Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys coming in early. So there won't be a live Friday, but we may have a special live when we're out there, and we may do a special live for the members as well. So with that, just looking at chat. Garvey, good to see you. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it is. It's so close. Thank you so much for all the well wishes. You guys are amazing. Again, I would not be able to go out searching for the missing if it wasn't for you guys. You guys make this possible. I'm just kind of a extension of you guys, avatar, whatever you want to call it, to go out and help people. So with that, I hope you guys have a great rest of your week. And we'll probably have a surprise live sometime this weekend. And then if not, we'll be back Sunday or Monday with the next live show. NFT, thank you so much. Good luck. Thank you so much for the Canadian $14. That is so sweet. And anybody that donated PayPal and Venmo, I will thank you in the next live. So with that, I'm going to play the new outro that we made. And we will talk to you guys soon. Oh, I lied. I can't play that video that way, so I'm going to do it this way. I don't know why that didn't load up. Here we go. All right, love you guys.